Hey guys, Mike Israetel here for Renaissance Periodization. We're going to be continuing our talk today that we kind of started last week about the most important and effective strategies for dieting success. That is, what dieting strategies make the biggest difference in body composition changes. So today we'll be looking at calories in, calories out, which, if you guys remember from last time, is our most important actual criterion for diet success. It is the most important ingredient in any diet, whether that diet be to lose fat or to gain muscle. How important is it? Well, here's an approximate chart I've sort of pieced together from my understanding of the literature. Calories in, calories out, this is sort of the total diet success. Calories in, calories out is responsible probably for close to 40% of all the variation in success of diets. Everything else on top of that is mostly details. Now you'll notice macronutrient amounts down there make a little bit more of a difference than everything else. Nutrient timing, my personal favorite strategy, unfortunately doesn't amount to much. In food composition, sort of if you eat natural peanut butter versus bacon, just doesn't amount to much. Now a very small amount, small difference. So, on to calories in and calories out. For muscle gain, calorie intake or a calorie surplus is the single biggest determining variable of if you gain muscle or not, bigger than every other criterion. Anabolism, or growing muscle without a calorie surplus, is very, very unlikely. You're stacking the deck against yourself. So the number one change you need to do to put into place for your diet if you want to put on mass is eat more food. There's no way around it, all right? The question is, how much more food? That's kind of a real general critique or a general recommendation. Well, enough calories to gain 1 to 2 pounds of tissue per week. That seems to be a good trade-off of fat and muscle in that range of body weights for most people. That means eating between 500 and 1,000 extra calories per day. Well, how do you know if you're eating that many extra calories per day? Do you have to track all of your calories? Well, there's an easier way. You check your body weight. Check it often. Check it twice a week. And if you're gaining about 1 pound to 2 pounds per week, you're on the right track. If you're gaining any more, you need to back away from the calories. If you're gaining too less or too fewer pounds per week, you need to eat more calories. It's pretty much that simple. Now for fat loss, the single biggest determinant of fat loss is, are you eating too few of calories, right? Are you having a caloric deficit? You know, people's aunts and uncles and moms lose tons of weight, and the only change they make is they eat less food. That happens all the time. Fat loss without a caloric deficit is incredibly unlikely. There's a really good reason for this. If you don't have a caloric deficit and you're trying to lose fat, that pretty much by definition means you're going to be losing almost no weight. So in order to lose fat without losing any weight, you need to concomitantly increase muscle mass while losing fat, and that's very, very unrealistic. So, the number one change in a diet to make to burn fat is, bad news coming up, to eat less food. That stinks. I wish I had better news for you guys. Unfortunately, I don't. So, how much less food? Well, it's sort of a mirror image of mass gaining. Something that will result in 1 to 2 pounds per week of fat loss or of tissue loss. And that usually is between a 500 and 1,000 calorie cut from the diet you're currently eating. How do you know that? Well, of course you keep track of the scale. If the scale in your bathroom says that every week you lose about 1 to 2 pounds of tissue, you're probably on the right track for a close to optimal rate of body fat loss while retaining as much muscle as you can. And a couple of real world tips on this subject while we're chatting about this anyway. If your calories are in order, if you're eating enough calories to grow or taking away enough calories to lose weight, you've taken care of priority number one, and that's the biggest deal. On the mirror image of that, if you get everything else right, if you're eating 6 meals per day, if your nutrient timing is perfect, you're eating all natural peanut butter and the right types of fats and all low glycemic carbohydrates, but you're eating too much food, you won't lose a lot of fat. Plain and simply, you could be doing everything else right, but if you get your calories wrong, you can either lack muscle gain by a really big factor, or you just don't lose much weight, period. Lately on the internet, there has been some discussion that low-calorie diets are not the way to approach fat loss. I don't know of any other way to lose fat that adds up to anything meaningful without lowering calories. I unfortunately don't know any magic tricks. Maybe some other prep coaches do. That's awesome, but unfortunately, the best way and probably the only way to lose a meaningful amount of fat to get into really good shape is to lower the calories, to lower them significantly, and to lower them progressively. Same on the other side of the coin. If you want to gain mass, you gotta eat lots of food. There's no way around it. That's all I have for today. I'll see you guys hopefully next time.